Hey guys, it's Nikits and welcome back to another video. This is the third time I've tried to record this video and I've only gotten like 2 minutes in both times, so let's try to get this done a little bit better this time, huh? Alright. This is day who knows of doing YouTube now. It is video 3 in the character design series. It's going to be a little bit different from the other two that I've posted because I don't have the character design process visually for you. I'm just going to be talking about how I got here and how his design translates into his story and vice versa. So feel free to put me on what you're drawing or something, because this is going to be more of a talky video than a visuals video. But I am going to have this speed paint of me doing his official character art playing while I talk. So hopefully that's fun for somebody. Unurs is my polar bear OC, and he is an ice elemental, so his powers center around ice, all of his abilities center around ice, but he gets some stuff from his animal companion on occasion or inherently, and through association with his polar bear. He's the only one whose animal companion currently has a name. I believe it was Suki. If I'm remembering it right, it's either Suki or like Siku or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's Suki though. And it is a translation of a language that I looked up. I promise I know, I just don't have it in front of me. But I'm pretty sure it's an Inuit language for snow, which I thought was super cute because it's a polar bear and he named it Snow. I just really like when like cool, really fantasy sounding names or something like that translate to like fluffy, like Hades with Spot the dog. Like I love it. Okay, sue me. So yeah, his name is Unurs, his polar bear's name is Suki, and I love them. Unurs is very dear to my heart, even though he's a very new OC compared to my other two, mostly because of how he came to be. So I randomly thought up a character with cotton candy fluffy hair, so like a 4C afro texture hair but with cotton candy like split dye, and I thought that was super cute. I know it's not original, I know people do that in real life, but I don't have a character with it yet, and I was like, I really want to design that character. So I got out my sketchbook and I pulled out a pencil and I started sketching, and I came up with this little Inuit character with light blue hair who blends in a little bit with the snow, but they have a pink motif, and it was just really cute. And then I was like, these are the colors of the trans flag. That's interesting. Like, I wonder what I could do with that. And he was born. So Unurs is a trans OC. He is a trans boy, so his pronouns are he, him. He's around 18 to 20, just like the rest of my OCs, which is not something I specified before. Whoops. He has blue toned hair, and I'm debating whether or not I want to keep the cotton candy pink because it's so cute and it's trans colors and trans rights, but I'm not sure if it goes with this design. I don't have it in this illustration. It's probably going to come back because I'm talking myself back into it, but it's okay. So yeah, that's kind of where the idea came about for him. I just wanted a sweet, precious little child who's super strong and had cotton candy hair. It was a superficial thing when I made him, but I love him now. He's got kind of if Hunk met Shiro vibes. He's very sweet and caring and a parent friend, but he's also very dead set. He's a little bit stubborn, and he, follows his own path. He's very rugged. He likes survival, or at least he has to survive because he lives in like Alaska and it's super cold. So that's kind of what I based his character design off of, was an ice motif, polar bear like features, trans male trans boy, with cotton candy type fluffy hair, and a very rugged character. So how does it translate into his character design? I have fluff around his shirt, like polar bear fluff, even though it doesn't end up being that color, I don't think, in the final color scheme. He has his spear to get himself fish so that he can survive in the climate in which he lives, because he has to hunt for himself. He has a bit of a sweater vest on, which I know doesn't make a lot of sense for the cold, but I do give him an underlayer of protection, so it's really like he has a thin thermal layer of clothing to insulate himself, because I figured that a society who lives in the cold would have figured out a way to be insulating, and that's also where the fur comes back in as a reference to Inuit clothing that has to be fluffy for warmth, but it's really just the thermal layer that's keeping him warm, and then this extra layer is for added protection when hunting, when climbing, hiking, all of that stuff that he would need to do to get his food, and that polar bears are known for doing, hiking and all of that stuff. So that's where that came from. He's super strong, he's very buff, and I love him because polar bears are just very large creatures, and I wanted him to have the general silhouette of a polar bear. I'm trying to make my characters reflect their animals in their inherent size and in their weight, the way they carry themselves, anything inherent to themselves, like their skin tone, their hair, and their body type is supposed to reflect their animals. So I made him very buff, very burly, like a polar bear, but he's still pretty soft. He's not super sharp because polar bears are fluffy and more rounded, but he could definitely take you out if he wasn't so kind. He's a very, very kind character, and he's a little bit sentimental, so I gave him a bracelet that's from his parents and from his hometown that he absolutely never leaves behind. He won't let it get lost. He rarely takes it off, maybe just to take a shower and whatever, but he immediately puts it back on. It's very important to him, and he keeps it on him at all times, so I really wanted to include it. I feel like it gives him a little bit of character, some personality, some humanity, which is something that I really like in my characters. His face gave me a little bit of trouble in this one. I don't know why. I think I made his hair a little bit too short, and it ended up in a little bit of a weird shape for his head, which was unfortunate. But I still really like the way it turns out and the way he turns out in the end. It makes him look a little bit like a military guy, which I think just enhances the fact that he has to survive and he's super tough. I gave him wave patterns in his hair because ice technically falls under the domain of the water territory, so I wanted him to have a little bit of a water motif, but not anything too big and gaudy, because I do want ice to be his main focus. And where the ice comes in is really with his color palette. He is a black man because of that thing with polar bears having black skin but white fur, and also just because I like having diverse characters, and I am black and I wanted him to be black, so sue me. And also I wanted to give him afro texture hair, so, there wasn't really another option, but I didn't want another option, so it was fine. But here I'm giving him very cream colors. They're very polar bear-like colors, but they're also supposed to reflect his ice motif. I really want him to look cold. His skin is a cold blue, which genuinely you would want to go with a warm tone for skin to make it look alive, to make it look like there's blood pumping underneath there, but I gave all of his colors cold tones so that he would look very cold and he would seem chillier, like he lives in a colder environment, as opposed to Feria, who in stark contrast has extremely warm colors everywhere. Even if it's like a blue or a yellow, they're extremely warm colors. I did the exact opposite for him. He has ice blue eyes, which is a little cliche, but I think it looks really pretty on him, and it's like a little splash of color in a design that doesn't really have a lot of color right now. I gave him the silhouette of his polar bear in the back just to, indicate his companion a little bit roughly. and then he was done. So I really love the way he turned out. I love him, and I'm excited to have to redesign him in a few weeks inevitably, because I keep doing that. But if you'd like to see it when I do, feel free to click those 2 videos over there. There's a button for you to subscribe on the screen. Feel free to like this video if you enjoyed it. Have a lovely day.